I'm R.BHUSHAN, a friend, motivator, and guide to IAS aspirant, a political, international motivational speaker, leadership trainer, CEO coach, political strategist, and policy advisor. Welcome to ASG Planning. Planning 31st, planning. This fact I've taken from Edwin E. Bobro book. The written plan should form follow function. The written plan should form follow function. So plans should be written, goals should be written, visions should be written, mission should be written. In this lesson, you learn about the content of written plan. The form it should take, questions to determine the form, how the plan comes together, and writing the plan. What form produces the best result? No one can tell you what form to use your written plan in order to get the best result. It depends on who you will be presenting the plan to, who will be using it, and what want the plan to accomplish. If the plan is for a small working group, you might take a simple, straightforward approach. On the other hand, if the plan is to approval of the top executive committee of your organization, you will need to have a very complete and well thought out written document. You also need a visual presentation to present to the various groups that your plan will impact, along with detailed backup material to support your plan's presentation. Determining form, the shape or structure the plan takes. Determining form, asking yourself or your team the following questions will help you determining form. Who is the plan for? Is the plan for obtaining approval for implementation or both? Is it to raise money? Do you want to obtain buy-in from a particular group of people? Will you be presenting the plan to groups? Is visual impact important? Will those who receive the plan only read the executive summary, read it in depth, skim through it, or want all the substantiating document? The executive summary mentioned in the last question is discussed later in the lesson. First thing first. An old adage says that forms should follow function. In other words, once you know what you want your plan to achieve, you can choose the best form to accomplish it. The many facts of form. The plan can take many different forms. Number one, a book form with all the collateral material. Two, the 3-ring binder with a clearly delineated section. Third, unbound short report. 4, each section bound separately in modules so that the modules can be included or excluded depending on who is viewing the presentation. A briefcase with the bound plan and the support material. How the plan comes together. In order to bring the plan together as a unified whole, the content of written plans should state the following things. History and background, enough information that someone not familiar with your subject will understand where you are coming from. Your vision, what you envision your plan will ultimately achieve or support. Your mission, what you are asking people to set forth or do. Clear goals, what you want them to achieve. Your strategy, how you want them to achieve it. An explanation of your reasoning, why you want it done, who will do it. Assignment of responsibilities. When will it be done? Schedule with milestone. What will it cost? Budget. Your expected result, what you will get for your investment of time and money. The method for monitoring and measuring result. Know how to define success. What will success be? If you don't all agree in advance what success will be, you will not know what to measure and monitor. Typical topics or section to include in your plan. Here are some examples of major sections that written plan could contain. Not all plans will have every section, nor does the list of possible sections present every possibility. It is intended only to explain the major section and reference possibility that might trigger ideas of what to include in your plan. Each plan is different. It is not likely that your plan will need all the topics or section I have listed. Each plan will dictate different needs and therefore different contents. Cover page. It's very important. Building for the 21st century. Every plan should have a cover page. Cover page means title page. Cover page means title page. Cover page means title page. Title page means the title page contains all the pertinent detail that describe what the report is about. So have certain basic information such as the title of report that describe what it covers, the time period the plan covers, the date of issue, the writers, the content information such as address, phone, fax, email, social media, fax number, Facebook name, the name of the organization, the statement of confidentiality, building for the 21st century. Table of content. The table of contents is another must for every report. Position after the title page. It should provide every reference to the important topics. Often the table of contents, some major topics are tabled throughout the report, making them easy to find. So these are the some executive summary. Executive summary means just as the table of content is done after the report is written, so it is executive summary. Some people, however, like to write executive summary when they start out, using it as a guide or outline for putting the plan together. It is therefore organized in a go way. Some people, the executive summary usually serves the following purposes: define the organization, states the vision, describe the mission, include the situational analysis, list the goals, lays out the strategies, provide financial information, indicates who will be responsible for what, set the milestone. Executive summary means a brief outline of the essential and key points of the plan. Key points of the plan. List of the acronyms. If a goodly number of the acronyms are used, then it was list them at the beginning of the report. If there are only a few, they can be defined within the report. A moderate number can be listed in appendix. Acronym: a word made from a list first initiate of series words, for example, voice of customer word, VOC. Introduction and preface. Some plan writers like to have an introductions and or a preface. There is no set use or prescribed way of using an introductions or a preface. I like to use one or the other to clearly state the purpose of the plan and acknowledge the people who are involved in developing it. It is purely a personal choice whether it to use them or not. Situational analysis. A situational analysis is often put into the written plan to give the readers a clear idea of organization present situation. It contains a competitive and or external environment analysis in relation to the internal situation of the company. In some instance, the SWOT analysis, research or some other analysis is incorporated into the body of plan. Personally, I like to see the situational analysis, which draws conclusion from the various analysis. Key findings and conclusion. In this section, you list the findings of your research and analysis and the conclusion you have drawn from these findings. The section not only reveals what you have learned, but it establishes reason detour of your plan. Reason detour means the reason that something exists. The reason detour means the reason that something exists. Recommendation. From the findings and the conclusion you have drawn, you should know now to be able to list your goals and strategy, what your aims are and how you will accomplish them. Along with the spelling of the goals and strategy, it is a good idea to include a schedule, at least the milestone who will be responsible for accomplishing them. A detailed schedule can be included in the appendix. You should also indicate in your recommendations how you will monitor and measure the step to achieve your goals. Some people like to have a separate section of monitoring and measuring. Budgets and financial projection. The amount of financial information or the complexity of the budget depends on what you are planning for. Key financial and the budget information is usually in the body of the plan with a backup of materials in the appendix. Support document, glossary and the backup material. Most written plans have a section called appendix that contains additional details and documents that support the plan. The appendix can house reference materials, glossary, exhibit, chart, detailed backup material, brochure, financial chart, and any other item that support the plan. Miscellaneous sections, topics. Here is the list of the variety of possible topics or sections that you might want to include in your plan. Advertising and promotion, business relations, competition, customer, distribution, management, manufacturing, market analysis, marketing strategy, pricing and profitability, production, products, services, description, public relations, research, risk analysis, sales, use of budgeting procedure. The list is not all inclusive, is offered only to trigger ideas for written plan. Thank you so much.